Who are the stars of tomorrow? What will the next 5 years look like? And does rollerblading have a future? Or will it fall apart like a Mr. Whippy ice cream in a car wash? In today's video, we'll be shining a light on the remarkable talent emerging from all across the planet, showcasing the raw skill, incredible style and fearless passion driving rollerblading into a new era. All the stunts are performed by professionals. Do not attempt this yourself. A big and very present concern in aggressive inline skating is the ageing demographic. Rollerblading is far from its glory days when it was full of young kids going berserk. I mean, it took a global pandemic to boost its numbers back up again, and the resurgence was mostly older, back to blading types who'd gone like AWOL for the last 15 years and now look like ET on his deathbed after they've done a few mizus and a whistle. The majority of skaters, which is 40%, are 35 to 44 years of age.
I'm getting old, pop.
With another 35% being 25 to 34. That's roughly 75% of the market, with knee cartilage like feta cheese and a limited shelf life. Unless people start handing out cortisone or hyaluronic acid, the future of aggressive inline skating is looking mildly dicey. While smarter lifestyle choices have allowed some to arguably hit their prime at an older age, and many of rollerblading's most iconic skaters have demonstrated incredible longevity by continuing to perform at an elite level, landing tricks that have never been done before and producing award-winning sections, age eventually catches up with everyone. Kind of like that film Final Destination, but it's coming after your ability to jump. Therefore, it's pretty essential to have a vibrant youth scene who are going to take the helm and push rollerblading forward. So who are the next generation and the future stars of rollerblading, and what can be done to keep the scene healthy? First, let's check in with some of the future prospects mentioned last time, and it's off to Korea. Known for K-pop, kimchi, taekwondo and the most stylish young skaters on earth. You've got Seoa Jang, Choi, her brother Esel Choi, Junseong and skater Chloe, who are all getting better and better. It's not just the level of tricks they are learning and the speed at which they are progressing, but the style and control they perform each trick with. They don't just pick a trick, do it once and move on. They study it, they get to know its ins and outs, they get to know its star sign and its favourite film. They almost completely master it before doing anything else. It is full stats on each trick. If it's not done amazingly, you're not really doing it at all. And if it wasn't obvious they were young kids, you might assume you were watching skaters with decades of experience. Other names to watch out for are Kim Young-won and Kwon Ho-song, who seem to be following in the footsteps of Yoon and at only 15 and 16 already look very comfortable launching themselves into lower orbit. Now, they've not just picked up skates, stumbled across each other and somehow trained each other to this level. Massive credit has to be given to Kevin Lee. Driven by his passion for rollerblading, he started the AIL, an aggressive inline skating school in 2010 that has taught loads of students, and I'm sure will continue to produce future stars, possibly even future GOATs. He's also opened a skate shop, Seoul Skater, and his own skate park, B1, which you would have seen loads of ridiculous footage from. Kevin is a very capable skater, but an even better teacher.
If you're messing up a trick, Kevin knows what you're doing wrong. And if he tells you what you're doing wrong and you fix that, you can land the trick.
He champions the importance of solid fundamentals and style, with results that clearly demonstrate he has a thorough understanding of how to impart this information and how skaters develop.
Studying about basic movements like how to jump and how to skate vert and how to do frontside grind, what's the good position for head and body axis, something like that. I made a textbook type file for
Beautiful. That's this.
More gradually skating.
Mates, sign me up for your Skillshare course or give Kev a platform at Winter Clash so he can teach people how to teach other people how to skate. He keeps the kids motivated by organising trips to international competitions where they experience a variety of styles, skate with their idols and compete. This not only inspires them, but encourages other young skaters who see their progress. It helps make scaling feel a little less dominated by older skaters and more relatable to the youth. On their latest trip to the Asian Blade Cup in Jakarta, Seoa and Esel placed first and second in the under-17 division, with Seoa also coming second in the Bladies comp. They're not short of immediate inspiration around them as well. Beyond Kevin, they also have Ju-won, Yoon and Junkyu Park to look up to. Ju-won and Jae are both only just into their later teens, early 20s, but already shining examples of what can be achieved at a young age. And as for Junkyu, he's probably one of the most stylish, creative, capable and interesting skaters about at the moment, so you can't go too far wrong having him as an example of how to skate. The Asian Blading Cup also gave a platform for great young skaters who might otherwise feel a bit disconnected from the international scene. On top of that, it saw two of Japan's rising stars, Shiono Hashimoto, who placed third in both the under-17s and Bladies, and Junseong, who is only 15 but won the open division. Japan is the most technically advanced country, but it also just happens to have the most technically advanced skaters as well. They are plugged directly into the matrix.
Never send a human to do a machine's job.
They have an impressive lineage of stylish skaters that can be traced back to Chiaki Ito. You can see his influence transferring through the generations via skaters like Soichiro Kanashima, Chihiro Uzuma, Yuto Goto, to Noboru Katayama, who is a phenomenal talent with mesmerising ability. Not only can he pull off flawless technical skating, but he's got a great mind to come up with the creativity in the first place. Noboru gets to practice skating as part of his actual school's curriculum. Our schools are feeding kids turkey twizzlers and doing darts for PE with a board that's spray painted onto a brick wall. His sister, Misaki Katayama, has developed into one of the best female skaters about, placing second in the pro event at the 2024 Winter Clash, the biggest competition in rollerblading. They're both in their early 20s and still very young, but there is a league of younger Japanese skaters coming through. Jun is off the scale. As mentioned before, he came first in the Asian Blading Cup Open Division, and it's not too much of a surprise seeing as he's phenomenal. He also came second in the junior men's at Winter Clash, so can perform on a big stage, and I'm always going to be impressed by someone who can do a regular and switch front torque in a line. How many adults can do that? And it doesn't even seem like he's bothered. He's got all the telltale signs of the Soichi style school, but importantly, you can still see his creative side and his personality, which stops him looking like an AI generated style robot that's just been pumped out the factory. You may well be the best at your skate park, the best in your city, maybe even you're the best in your country, but the second you step down in Asia, mate, you are plummeting through the ranks. You're not even recognised as a rollerblader. Following in the footsteps of style queen Chihiro Uzuma is Shiono Hashimoto, Kaho Miyao and Mei Myoga, and you can just tell straight away by their execution of foundational tricks like sweat stance or topsoul, they completely understand what it's all about. I don't think you can make those tricks look any better. If I want to show a non-skater an example of how to do those tricks, I'm going to them.
That's the one.
You can see how comfortable on skates they are when they're floating around transitions, sometimes massive ramps, and all three are excellent competition skaters. Kaho came second in the women's division in the recent FISE event. She also came third in the AM Spine competition competing against the men, and is a sick vert skater, which feels like a rarity these days, and she's only 15. Mei, who is a year younger, won the women's FISE in 2023, came second at the 2024 NL event, which is another big event in rollerblading, and won the World Skate Games in Japan. There's a confidence, control and conviction to their skating that I think would look really, really good to an outsider. You've got Style Master Yuto Goto, who is well known, and you've also got his Padawan, Yuto Akayama, who's a Roshi's ambassador. Another Japanese skater who I've mentioned before but is well worth mentioning again is Haruhi Shimizu, who trains under the watchful eye of skating legend Takeshi Yasutoko. When I spoke about him a couple of years ago, he was already winning comps, and he's continued that form, winning the junior men's at Winter Clash with a performance well beyond his years, gliding around the park, using every feature and dropping some jaw-dropping tricks. Japan looks like it will become a dominant force in rollerblading. You've just got to look at the youth present at events put on by Senna Ramps, Iwama Park and the Beast competition. They are just full of young skaters coming through. And if you're looking at the competition lineup and you're checking the country where people are from and you're seeing that Japanese flag, oh, you start sweating. Like, I've been skating for 20 years and some 10-year-old's going to come along and do every trick I can do, plus do it switch and do it way more stylish than me. I absolutely love doing these videos, but it's kind of make or break season for the channel. So if you like what I'm doing, if you'd like to see me continue, you can really help me out with like likes, comments, subscribing is really handy. I've got Patreon, I've got a channel membership. You can join those for as little as like £3 a month, exclusive videos, sneak peeks. All of it does genuinely really help me out. I love to continue doing this, so cheers. Another dominant force brewing in rollerblading that's getting ready to come and steal all of your competition trophies is Brazil. The last time I talked about Nicholy, Danilo, Laura Santos and Ana Julia, and their stock just keeps rising. Winter Clash 2024 was like the World Cup 94. It was Brazil's, and they let their presence be known. At 18, Danilo took third in the men's with a strong performance and came second at the FISE, getting praise from one of the best comp skaters right now, and arguably like ever, Julian Kudo.
And to be honest, if he was first, I would have been like, fair enough.
Laura Santos came third in the amateur women's with some fantastic tricks, and one of the biggest talking points and highlights from the whole event was Ana Julia's skating. It was not only enough to have her clearly winning the amateur women's division, but it had a lot of people saying she could have won the pro women's division with her performance. She keeps winning everything. She took first place at FISE in the women's division, she won cash for tricks, she won the Brazil Championships in street and park, she won again at the NL contest and Paulista in Brazil, and she's only 14. Like a young Fabiola Da Silva. I actually thought she was already officially a part of the USD team, but that was announced recently as well. I imagine that's one of the easiest decisions they had to make recently, and I'm sure we'll see a product with her name on it soon. Nicholy Machado is one of the biggest ambassadors for skating, and such a credit to the sport. She's gone on to get pro bearings, pro wheels, a pro urban skate, and I'm sure soon she'll get a pro ag skate as well. She's amassed 367,000 followers, which brings so many eyes to skating, and in such a positive light, it must be having an effect. If you look at the skate schools in Brazil like a Belhas Inline or events like Della Street organise, you can see why Brazil is producing all of these top rate skaters. Keep an eye out for more rising stars like Nicholy Ribas, throwing out big spins and handling huge transitions. Young Rafiana who can grind, spin and flip something wicked, both of whom will be heading to the World Skate Cup in Italy. Da Silva and her sister who you would have seen at all the big contests. Then there's also 12-year-old Enzo, another name I'm sure will soon be placing in comps. Skipping back over to Europe and specifically Poland, which has a growing youth presence. We've previously spoken about Michal Pietrzak, who was a menace on skates with some outlandish tricks on him. He can skate street, he can skate park, and he just keeps adding more and more to his wide trick vocabulary. No surprise he took third in the junior men's at Winter Clash with this outrageous finisher. Joining him as his pal, Filip Hudziak, who is a spin to grind maniac. He's like a human carousel from the fun fair. I heard the rumour he refuses to enter a building unless it has a revolving door. And you would have caught him doing what he does best at Winter Clash. Adam Wurzel, who was another bandit in the park and on the street. He became the European Junior Champion last year and recently won the KRA comp. And there's Katarzyna, who came second in the Junior Women's at Winter Clash. Sticking in Europe, unlike the UK, oi oi, you've got Nolan van Ophoven from the Netherlands, who was recently picked up by Gods after coming second in the juniors at the Frankie Morales Invitational. He also took home first place at the inline Bok in his home country and has appeared in Plastic Pushers. There's Jacob Esselman, who I've talked about before, but since then has been picked up by NUE and USD Skates, who worked with him for the promo of the USD Glitch Skates. His aerial prowess is incredible, and you'll often see him flying through the sky at Area 51 in Eindhoven, or any big ramp that he's let loose on. For Simon Hammer, Icon Flow Team rider from Denmark, has won all sorts. Danish Junior Champion, Real Street Copenhagen Junior Champion, B-Roll Copenhagen Best Up and Comer. Amelie Maria from Italy won the Junior Women's Winter Clash division at only 11 years old. And Lilou Fumery continues the tradition of French skaters being absolutely wild at skating park. Now, despite people moaning about USD giving like older skaters pro skates all the time, they're actually one of their best brands for giving young skaters a platform. They had Lilou as part of their Aeon ETQ 60 edit, a skate specifically released to support and fund the female riders in the USD team. Over in America, they had young Astrid Garcia as part of their USD Glitch Skate campaign, skating with an amazing confidence and style. The last time we spoke about Astrid and her brother 4, they were just learning the basic tricks on P-rails and getting used to transition. Their progression in the couple of years between then is so impressive. The tricks they're doing now are actually crazy. Their young siblings, Noah and Garcia, who are both 5, are starting to get involved as well. And working with Soul Grinds Coffee, they're also a part of Kids Rollout, an event for kids of all ages to get into skating. Winging our way back to Europe again, this time Switzerland, known for its mountains, clocks, chocolate, Roger Federer, and more importantly the roller skate twins, who you would have heard of because they are massive and not so much future stars but kind of like already like stars. They were gaining notoriety the last time we spoke about them, but it seems to have gone into the stratosphere now. They all started when they seen a ramp in an abandoned park and just went for it. Them and their parents not knowing much about skating, they headed to the internet for advice.
Take a spin, now you're in with the techno set. You're going surfing on the internet.
They discovered Michael Witzman, and via his videos they found out about grinding and set about learning whatever grinds felt natural to them, hence them becoming adept at more uncommon tricks and even making up their own. They've skated with Tony Hawks, they've had Takeshi Yasutoko jumping over them, and their reels often get views from 100k into the millions. Similar to Nicholy, they have an appeal that seemingly transcends rollerblading. Recently there was a scare with some uncertain results from a medical checkup. One of the twins had cancer when they were younger in the form of a malignant brain tumour. Thankfully the new growth was non-cancerous, and it's great to see them getting back to what they do best and what they love the most. There is so much inspiration and positivity you can take from the roller skating twins. They're a massive asset to rollerblading. It's a blessing that we have them. Back here in the UK, home of Roy Cropper, home of Unity Skate Mag, home of the Scampi Fry, and a host of young skaters. You've got Bo Warren and Corey, who you might have caught at the Capital Rollers events. Corey has been ticking off iconic London street spots and is pretty much willing to jump off anything. He seemingly just absorbs impacts.
Yeah.
Bo is also fearlessly getting tucked into well-known London spots and is a proper technician with plenty of style. There's 10-year-old Rex, who only started skating 2 years ago but is popping up all over the place. He's down Pitch Street, winning top prize at the Loco Power Slide Bowl Workshop at Bay 66, winning comps at Southend Skate Park, getting second at Rampworks. He just has a natural talent for it. There's Reese Nomain, who's a bit of a stuntman and won at Rampworks. And there's Jacob Vuli, who came 3rd, plus well-known skater on the London scene, Blader Kid Charlie, who just keeps progressing. Plus we can't be forgetting the other side of the world, Australia, where you've got the Aussie skate bros, Lucas and Leo. The fact that any kid is choosing rollerblading when there's so many other, more popular options out there has to be some sort of positive. They could do footy, they could take up scootering.
Good morning!
They could sit there and stream all day, like watching other people playing video games, and they probably get more notoriety for it. There is something about skating that makes these kids want to get involved, and when one kid sees another kid doing it, it becomes more appealing. There are already those challenging adults for the top spots in competition, those that are some of the most stylish skaters about. There is skaters in their mid to early teens who make the fundamentals look better than some people who are officially on teams. They're having more fun, making it look better and making it more obvious why you'd want to start. You have iconic skaters like Rassard Johnson introducing his daughter to skating, and Jimmy Shuda skating with his son, and I'm sure there's bladers introducing their kids to skating, which is amazing. But what's also really important is the skate schools and blade camps around the world, because you're not always going to want to do what your parents do. And we're already seeing potential future goats coming from that. And as for those that don't have parents who already skate, they don't have a skate school or like a local crew to guide them, there's inspiration out there, not just from the talented skaters I've mentioned in the video, but there's a generation above that probably have some of the most exciting skaters about. And they do get recognition. The likes of Michael Witzman, Marius Gaile, Levi Van Rijn, Martin Danning, Dominic Bruce, Noboru Katayama, Yoon. There's names in there getting pro skates and signature products. They're featuring in the major brands, and they all originally came from a time when skating wasn't that popular. Surely that's positive. Mezma, USD, them and Roches, the top four, all have a youth presence and give younger kids a platform, so there's things there for kids to aspire to as well. There's events like Winter Clash, Blading Cup, Capital Rollers Jam, Copenhagen B-Roll, and many more that bring the community together that goes beyond just skating. And it's stuff like this we need more of. I think skating is in a decent position. Don't be silly, I'm not trying to imply that it's going back to like 90s level of popularity, because it's not without some like major mainstream backing. But I do think it can continue to build a solid foundation that's not only appealing to the youth, but it actually provides a more supportive industry. And that starts by supporting the brands, the events, the media that you think have rollerblading's best interests at heart. The brands that aren't just selling you a product, but also adding to the culture. Think about where that money goes beyond the skate. What is that brand also doing? Is that event inclusive and more than just skating? Is that channel championing all the great skaters that are out there? Is it just this product's good, this product's bad, here's a load of my skating? Or is it celebrating the culture? Make sure you list all the young up and comers that I might have missed. Huge thank you to my patrons and channel members. I simply couldn't do this without you, so like, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Here's a couple of other videos you can watch until I'm back again. Spotty Dog.